very much identical their leadership, their own strategies. Their strategy cannot be copied. That strategy cannot be imitated because it is their own strategy, a newer strategy, not available with others. So it's a competency, core competency of that leader. Nobody has that kind of a strategic roadmap. Take all the examples, all the business giants in the world. Take Sri Lanka, Damnika Pereira, Hari Jayawardene, Ken Balender, Hari Jayawardene and Ken Balender have no more. They have died. For Bill Gates, whoever who you see, their strategies are very much identical, their own competence. So selection of strategy depending on your knowledge, your ability, your creativity, and a lot of other factors. They build up around their life. Right? Therefore, if you improve your competencies, for example, say the plantation management, various aspects of plantation management, definitely you can select the best strategy to manage your farm very successfully. Right? So then, guys, I'll give 2 minutes to ask me any question from your end before we move to the vocabulary of strategic management. Guys, you can ask me any question. I'll give the 2 minutes. ඔගල my own ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාලා අහන්න පුළුවන් ඇයි මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ? මොකද්ද මේකේ ප්‍රයෝජනේ? මොකද්ද management කියනවා strategy කියනවා. What is the difference between the management and strategy? Are both same or different? Some people say planning. Is it the same with strategy? You can ask me any question. Any sort of question you can ask. Guys, there are 20 participants here in this class. I believe there are a couple of, are there any Tamils and some people? Some people have numbers, no names. Are there any Tamils or Muslims in your class?
Yes, sir.
They are not better in Sinhala, no? So I believe that you are coming from different districts, different places of Sri Lanka. And this is one of subject comes the management. So before we go ahead, you can ask me questions. Did you get the idea of strategy? What you understood? What comes to your mind about the strategy? If I ask a question, why Prabhakaran failed? Why did Prabhakaran fail? Or in other way, what was the success factor of Sri Lanka army selected to defeat the Prabhakaran? The most recent example is a 20% tax the reduction of American taxes up to 20% by the president of Sri Lanka or Sri Lanka government. What was the strategy they used to reduce 30% to 20% or 40% to 30%, 30% to 20%? So the president and Sri Lanka government successfully achieved the lowest sum of the different tax rates, but to some extent lowest tax rate in the South Asian region we got, whereas India 25, Sri Lanka 20, Bangladesh 20. So it's a success. What are the main strategy they use to reduce the tax rate from American end? That's a strategy. The strategy was the effective negotiation. Strategy was the effective negotiation. I use the effective negotiation and efficient negotiation. Effective and efficient negotiation and networking. Right? And connected from different points to the question. Therefore, it's a team success. Different people got involved by the president and the government. Not depending on one person or 2%. So that is the networking. And used various influential groups to convince the President of America of our grievances. So those are the strategies used. Not one strategy, number of strategies used. Right? And manage very well the people who involved in getting the 20% tax reduction. It's a marvelous achievement. Right? Because the plantation sector is one of the sectors hit by taxes, import taxes, tariff taxes. We are exporting tea. We are exporting value-added tea. We are exporting rubber. We are exporting value-added coconut. We are exporting various food items. Right? But very few. Whereas we import large amount of goods from America. Therefore, there is a mismatch between the import value and export value. As a result, there is a huge trade deficit. We have to pay large amount of money to the America. In that scenario, getting this 20% is a marvelous achievement. Right? So if you don't have any question, and I believe there are only 21 participants, we'll go to the vocabulary very first. Then slowly we try to learn a strategy, right? Meantime, you can disturb me, you can interrupt me, you can ask me questions, you can share your ideas. Sometimes you fail, you know why did you fail, what was the reason behind your failures, what was the secret behind your success stories. That is the assignment that I'm planning to give you end of the day today. Today, end of the session, I ask you to write down your success stories and your failed stories. What were the reasons behind the success and failures? You have to jot down, right? All right. We'll move to one by one, right? Then you can understand the jargon. What are the words connected to this subject matter? Hmm? Number one is mission. Mission. What is mission? The given definition by the most famous one of book that I referred. The definition is overriding purpose in line with the values or expectation of stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people who invested money. They have various expectations, right? So therefore, there is a purpose. This purpose in line with their expectations. The purpose organized as their wishes, based on their wishes, right? So stakeholders want profit. The whole purpose of getting profit. So how they are going to make the organization profitable? So they organize their organization. They organize their company. The company is the mission. The success of the company or the what we call that purpose of the organization is the mission. That purpose support to achieve your expectations, right? Mission is simple word. It's a resourceful, well organized, right? Purpose. Take example from your life. Suppose you are going to run the marathon. You are going to run the marathon. Your target or your goal is, so your objective is, so your intention is, in other words, or you are working for what? To win the marathon. Win the marathon. One of marathon, the international marathon. Then what is mission? You can't run marathon if you are not healthy and fit. So your body is the mission. Healthy and fit body is the mission. You do not have healthy and very fit body, how you run the marathon? You can't run the marathon. Like your organization. So your body is the organization. The purpose is to maintain body very healthy and fit. Then only you can win the marathon. Huh? So mission is overriding purpose. Without that purpose, no point of investing money. So you maintain healthy and fit of your body to run the marathon. So it's a long-term one. Forever you have to maintain the mission. If mission collapse, everything collapse. Alright? So guys, in your personal example, healthy and fit. Yeah? To pass the MPM, what is that? The institute is called Plantation Management. Instead of IPM, is that so? IPM. What is the name of your institute? Guys, how to? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Alright. You are IPM, no? Instead of Plantation Management. So you are student. You are supposed to pass your degree. So what is your mission then? What's the mission? Hmm? Think that one. In line with my personal example, right? Then you build up your mission. As students of IPM, you think what is my mission, right? Then write down and show me next day, not today, right? Show me next day. Any question from the mission? Mission කියන එක තේරුණාද හොඳටම? හොඳට තේරුණාද? Did you get the point of mission? Think of your mission. Take my example. A marathon player, his mission is healthy and fit body. Forever he want to maintain healthy and fit. You, what is the mission then? Think. Right. Read mission of the organization. Take the IPM mission. I don't know what is it. Take the mission of IPM. Then you can understand more on that one. So the assignment today is to collect from Google missions of world-class organizations, including IPM. You all have to collect mission statements of world-class organizations, world-class companies. You collect 10 such missions. That is your assignment. 10 missions of world-class companies, including IPM. Then you build up your own mission. That's the end of your first assignment. Like that, I will give you number of assignments. Whole week, I will give work to do. Then automatically you familiar with what is mission by yourself, right? I am just facilitating you to learn, right guys? තේරුම් නැත්තම් මොකද දරුවාගේ කියන්න ඕනේ තේරුම් නැහැ කියලා. හරිද? මොකද මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක හරිම ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක්. The life blood of your whole life. I'm saying I'm a successful man every time because I selected the successful factors. Right? As a teacher, what is my mission? What is my personal mission as a teacher?
Communicate with the students effectively.
Of course. So I want to build up my communication abilities. I want to be a effective communicator. That is my mission. And knowledgeable person. Right? Knowledgeable and effectively communicated person. Be a good communicator. Be a good knowledge creator. That is my mission. Like that, you must have your own mission. One guy answered correct. Good. Then will come to the vision. Mission, then vision. Vision is very simple. That is your dream. That is what we are going to do in future, what we expect from your own life in future or from your organization. That is called desired future state. State, the word state. Desired future state. The aspiration of the organization. What is a personal example? To run the London Marathon. To run the London Marathon. I am healthy and fit to run the London Marathon. My mission is to run the London Marathon. One day I want to win the London Marathon. So my mission is run. Right? Your mission is what then? Huh? My vision is to teach you very effectively the strategy and leadership subject. That is my vision. So it's a forever. It's a forever. Right? Then goal. So very first we talk on the purpose, the main purpose, or the holistic purpose. So that purpose we can divide into goals. That entire purpose we can divide into goals. So general statement. Goal means general statement of aim or purpose. How can we say generally? How can we say generally? Because I want to healthy and fit. How can I healthy and fit? Number one goal is I want to reduce my weight. Not all. To some extent I want to reduce. I want to reduce weight and leverage with my muscle strength. The number two goal is strengthen my muscles. Strengthen the parts of the body or the legs and arms. Right? That is the goal. So my purpose is healthy and fit. Right? So my goal is, in order to achieve the mission, my goal is to lose weight and strengthen muscles. Therefore, it's a general statement of aim or purpose. So these goals we can generally mention, but if you want, you can quantify that one. You can quantify and state goal in different ways. Then it is called objective. What is objective mean? Objective means quantifying your goal. Quantifying your goal, then goal becomes objective. Goals are very general purpose statement. Very general purpose statement, but connected to the mission. Connected to the mission. Right? Again, then objective is quantified goal is called objective. Right? For example, my goal is lost weight. I can say I want to lose 5 kilos by September and run the marathon next year. I want to lose 5 kilos by 1st September. 1st September, before 1st September, I want to reduce my weight by 5 kilos and to run my marathon next year. So you can see here, the goal is lost weight and I want to lose 5 kilos September 1st and strengthen muscle. So there is a measurable yardstick for strength and muscle. I don't know that one. Right? The people who are doing who are going to the gym, they know how to measure the strength of muscles. So these objectives you want to achieve some sort of capabilities you want. Some sort of capabilities you want. Otherwise, you can't achieve that goal, objective, or mission. So mission, vision, goals, objectives, depending on your capabilities. Capabilities is what? You have to have resources. You have to have resources. You have to have activities and processes. You have to have a timetable. And sometimes this capability is very unique to you. Nobody can imitate. Others can't imitate. You might have ample time to read for IPM exams than the others. Then it's a strategic capability, right? Strategic capability. Because it is not available with others. It is only with you. That is unique to you, and it gives you more advantage than others. Therefore, we call it provides competitive advantage. That strategic capability provides you competitive advantage over the others because it is only with you. For example, in my example, so if I am living very close nearby to the fitness center, I don't want to travel by bus. I can walk to my fitness center. Right? And suppose I have enough money to eat to uh, get a very healthy diet, then it's a strategic case. I have money. Oh, some hotel uh, free of charge. They to provide me diet because I'm the Sri Lanka star in weightlifting. So to get some advantage, one hotelier come forward that help me by providing a very healthy diet. So it's a strategic capability. Nobody have that chance. Only I have that chance. That is called strategic capability. So it gives you more competitive advantage over others. Understood, guys? For example, your case, you have strategic capabilities than others. In your colleagues, right? Compare with the colleagues because you are competing with your colleagues to get a first class degree, second upper degree, second lower degree. And your vision is that. Then we'll come to what is meant by strategies. As I told you, ways and means of achieving your target, achieving your goal, achieving your objective, organizing your strategic capability. So you use strategies. Therefore, it's a long-term direction. Long-term direction. You are going to that direction. You exercise regularly. Exercise regularly because you are planning to run the London Marathon. Therefore, you exercise regularly. That is a strategy, one strategy or action. Strategy and the word to action. Strategy means action. Effective action. Efficient action. Connected action. Relevant action. Exercise regularly and run local marathon because you are planned to run international marathon. Before that, you want to run local marathon and be ready and getting good diet, getting very good diet, balanced diet every day. So these are the strategies. There are a number of strategies. For example, in your organization, right? There are long-term strategies, long-term directions, right? Any question up to now? So what is the business model that you use to run the marathon? What is the business model? The strategies you can implement through a business model. Select a business model. For example, uh, joining the club, joining the running club is a business model. Joining the school team is a business model. So associate with or collaborate with number of networks. When come to the organization, how products, services, and information flow between participating parts. The flowing of business model is what? Products are flowing among participants. Information are flowing among participants. Money are flowing among participants. That is the business model. Product, money, and information. Circling among the participants. That is the business model, right? For organization. So you develop a product, you sell the product, right? You provide various services with the product. You get the information from various sources, right? And you market that one, your product. Like that, you connected all the parties by what? Product, information, and money. Product, information, and money. These are the three fundamental factors of a both business model. What are the three factors that you can see in the business model? Product, money, and information. So you all need to read the book again and you Google these words and get different definitions and try to understand. Alright. Then the control. So you know whatever you are doing, there is a possibility to happen mistakes. There is a possibility to happen damage. There is a possibility to happen delays, illnesses, weaknesses. So you want to control. You want to keep everything in a kind of a within a within a framework, within a frame, right? So that is called the monitoring. So control require monitoring. Monitor your action. Control means monitor your action, whether they are deviating from your expectation, whether they are deviating from your frame, right? Therefore, you have to every time you have to monitor your success of strategy, whether my strategy is working well or not. If not, we have to bring some other factors and correct that one. For example, if you when you are preparing for running, you might get ill. Then immediately you have to meet a doctor. That is the control. So that control you have to. So weight. Say for example, weight, you want to lose the weight, 5 kilos, reduce the weight by every day, certain amount of your weight you want to reduce. Therefore, what you have to do, you have to monitor the weight. So monitoring is the control. Monitoring is the control. And if you are running, you have to measure the kilometers, that how many kilometers you run, how many meters you run, what is the time duration you are taking. So compare with others. Compare with others. Compare with your competitors. Accordingly, you have to control. If you are running over hours, over minutes, over distance than required, then definitely you will fail because you waste your energy unnecessarily. Therefore, you have to control. within limits, within the limits. So if it go beyond the limit, you have to bring back the action to the limit, within the limit. That is very important, right? Then you go to the second set of terminology. Don't worry about terminology, right? You just today, I know that you can't understand all these definitions I am giving. But try to understand yourself. Slowly try to understand yourself. Google these words and get simple meaning again, right? So then we learned the strategic ability previously. Then we got threshold resources. There are some threshold resources. Threshold means what? Limited resources. Minimum resources. Threshold resources means the minimum requirement or minimum resources. Right? For example, in our example, healthy body, medical facilities, training venues, equipment, food supplements. These are the threshold resources. You have to minimum food level. You have to minimum training venues. You want to minimum medical treatment. These are the threshold resources, threshold, minimum requirement. So you want to more than threshold resources. Like that, there are threshold competencies, resources as well as threshold competencies. These are the competencies to what? Activities and processes needed to meet the customer's minimum requirement and therefore to continue to exist. These are the to exist, these competencies are required. So, individual training regimes, physiotherapy, injury management, diet planning. These are the competencies. How you excel in making your diet plan. That is the competence. Excel in making good diet plan, right? Excel in deviating or reducing injuries. That is your competency, threshold competence. This threshold means there is a minimum level of competence you require to win the match, win the game, win the organization, right? So these are basically the minimum activities, minimum processes, not otherwise, or minimum equipment. Otherwise, you can't exit. Therefore, it's called the threshold competence, right? Then will come with unique resources. There are some resources, you know that. It is only with you. It's not with the competitors. They can't imitate or obtain because it is only with you. These unique resources that underpin competitive advantage and are difficult to competitors to imitate or obtain because it is only with you. So, for example, your exceptional talent set, your exceptional heartbeat, your exceptional height, or your weight level. Sometimes you might have a very world-class coach with you. It's a unique resource. Nobody has that kind of a world-class coach. Only with you. So it's called a unique resource. It's available only with you, not with others. Understood, guys? Then other important word is core competence. Core competence. So threshold resources, unique resources. Threshold competencies, core competence. Again, core competence is what? Activities that underpin competitive advantage and are difficult for competitors to intimate and obtain. So that competency is not available with others. That is available only with you. Therefore, it's called core competency or it may be activity, it may be a kind of a, what we call that, processes. For example, your dedication, your dedication, your tenacity, ample time to train. So these are the core competencies win the match. It's not with others, right? Now I complete the vocabulary that's required to learn this subject matter. Right, guys? We'll go again. Number 1, mission. Number 2, vision. Number 3, goal. Next, objectives. Strategic capability. Strategies. Business model. Control. Then, again, threshold resources. Threshold competencies. Unique resources. Core competencies or unique competencies. These are the important words. Now we'll go again with our personal examples. Mission is be healthy and fit. Why? I want to run the London Marathon. That is my vision. How? By losing weight and strengthening my muscles. That is my goal. How I achieve the goal? Within the time frame, I want to reduce 5 kilos. Then what is the strategic capability I have? Strategic capability I have? I have a good diet. I am very close to fitness center. What is the strategy I use? Regularly exercise. Doing local marathon. Getting good diet are strategies. Business model. What is the business model I use? I use a winning club. Winning club. That is my business model. Or join a running club. What are the controls I am doing? I am measuring my weight every day. I am measuring my running time. I am measuring my diet. Right? So therefore, I control my actions by monitoring to keep them within the limits. Then, what is my threshold resource? My threshold resource, that's the minimum resource, is my healthy body. Medical facilities, I want to have the medical facilities. I want to have training venues, places. I want to have a minimum equipment, a minimum food supplements. These are threshold resources. What are the threshold competencies I want? I want physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is the threshold competency I need. Injury management I need. I need diet planning. These are the competencies. So physiotherapy is a threshold competence or activity. Physiotherapy activity I have to involve. Injury management is a process I involve. Diet planning is the competency that I have to involve. That's minimum activities, minimum processes that I have to keep with me. Then unique resources. That means resources nobody have. It is only with you. For example, your exception heart, exceptional lung, your height, your level of weight, availability of world-class coach. Core competencies. Core competency what? Combination of dedication, tenacity, time to train, demanding level of competition, and will to win. The ambition. The ambition is a core competence. Your determinant is a core competence. It is not with others. Right, guys. Now you are in the 5 minutes, no, 4 minutes to read yourself. Term, definition, and example. and I start from this one. Read now yourself. Read yourself. Yeah. Now easy for reading. I enlarge that one. Slowly read, right? Take time. Now read the second one. Second set of one. Where you read the threshold resources, threshold competencies, unique resources, core competencies. Don't worry about strategic capability. Right. Now I ask you the question. What was the core competency of Sri Lanka Army when they won the internal war? What was the core competency Sri Lanka Army had? What was the core competence Sri Lanka Army had?
Leadership.
You want that? Sri Lanka Army. Leadership is one partner. When take the whole army. I am asking the core competency. That is a underpinning competitive advantage over the others or activity.
Good coordination.
Beyond that, you are correct. I'm not saying wrong. You are correct. Beyond that, that is very unique. Only with our army, our brave army. Hmm? Their courage, their will to win, their courage, their dedication, their dedication, their courage, their team spirit. Team spirit. These are the core competencies. When come to the LTT, what was the core competency? What was the core competency? Because you all know this word, that's why I'm taking example. What was the core competency of LTT? Suicide bombers. That is their core competency. Nobody has that activity. Suicide bombers were only available at LTT. That was their core competency. Agree with me? You agree with me? එන කටක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. එහෙමයි කියාවක් නේද? බෝම්බ දාගෙන මැරෙන්න. ඇඟේ බැඳගෙන ගිහින්. ඒක තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ core competency එක. අපේ කට්ටිය core competency උනේ මොකද්ද? අපේ team spirit එක. What was the unique resource of Sri Lanka? What was the unique resource of Sri Lanka army have? No any other army in the world has that unique resource. Only we have that resource. At the time of war, not now. සම්පත. අපට තිබුණ වැදගත්ම සම්පත මොකක්ද කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් වෙන කාටවත් තිබුණ නැති අපිට විතරම තිබුණ සම්පත මොකක්ද? Guns? Bullets? No. Because of that, we won with the core competence. Hard trained army. Hard trained army. That is a unique resource. Hard training is a unique resource. Right. Then what was the unique resource of the LTT? What was the unique resource of LTT? Only LTT has that resource, not others. Think. I'm not giving the answer. If I give the answer, do not think. මොකද්ද තිබුණ resource එක ඒගොල්ලන්ට? වෙන අයට තිබුණ නැහැ resource. ඒගොල්ලෝ විතරයි තිබුණේ. LTT විතරයි තිබුණේ resource. Guns, boats. You have the marine train. Marine train. They have kind of resource, the unique sea resources. That was the main they used. Right? Like that you can think of. Huh? Right. Now we'll move slowly to my third slide. Understand the business. Your business is farming business. There's a Abel's model of definition of the business. How to define the business. So we want to first define the business, where we are. What is the business we are in? So when you are defining the business we are in, we have taken into account three parts, right? Because we are running business for what? For our stakeholders. So we are maintaining business to satisfy our customers. Therefore, we have to understand who are our customers very first. Who are our customers to be satisfied, or who is being satisfied? Who are our customer groups to be satisfied? There's a number one factor we have to take into account when we're defining our business. If you are in the private hospital, our customers are the patients. So we want to satisfy the patients, their expectations, their ambitious. So then these customers are coming for what? To satisfy their needs. Then we have to understand, yes, these customers are coming to our organization. What are their needs that we have to satisfy? First, we have to satisfy our customers. Then we have to satisfy their needs. Then, from customer need perspective, we have to understand our business. First of all, who are our customers? From customer perspective, we define. Then their needs, we have to take it. What are their needs? They want a high-level consultancy. They want a effective drugs management. They want a very efficient and effective patient management system. They want modern technology. Take private hospital. Then next one is that's what we learn. What are the competencies we have other than our competitor? Or in other words, how we are going to satisfy the needs of our customers? How? That is your competency, distinctive competency, unmatching competency than others. Take example, hospital. Who are their customers? They are in the health business. So their customers are the patient. Customer needs are what? Effective and efficient treatments or patient management. That is what they expect. Effective and efficient patient management. Then how we are going to do that one? How we are going to satisfy that need? By recruiting world-class doctors, world-class technologies, world-class nurses, world-class management, patient management system. That is how you are going to satisfy. That is how you have to define your business. Now you define your own business. Farm management. Farm. Take a farm. Who are the customers of the farm? What are their needs? How you are going to satisfy the needs of the farm stakeholders or farm customers. Understood? That is how a Bell's model of defining a business. So we are defining our business in our own way. That is wrong, because we are here to satisfy our customers, our stakeholders. So we have defined in terms of customer aspiration, customer wishes, customer ambitions of our organization. Otherwise, it's not a good definition. We should not do what we can't do. In other words, we should do what we can do. That is how we have defined our business. Right? For the expectation of the stakeholders. So we'll come later on. These subjects again we are coming, right? Just today we are understanding the subject matter more on that one, right? So I will directly go to one of the important one, that is red ocean and blue ocean strategy. Why I am going that far? Before I wind up the class today, I thought to give you here kind of new thinking, red ocean and blue ocean strategy. Before we go to the in-depth of the subject, I thought to give you a kind of a thinking uh, factor, thinking factor. There's a red ocean strategy and blue ocean strategy. So when we come to the Malaysia, they use blue ocean strategy. When it comes to Sri Lanka, use red ocean strategy. Right? So blue ocean strategies try to create new things which are not available in the world. They are not trying to compete. They are trying to find out new world, new market, new good, new customer set of customers. Right? That is the blue ocean strategy. So that is how certain countries develop their nation, because they are not competing with each other. They want to find out a new good, new set of customers, new market. Right? Their goods are very high value. For example, the good blue ocean strategies in Sri Lanka is that there's a person who make goods by clay. It's called there's a pot. There's a person who, I put the name of that guy. His pot. He use the clay and make number of very expensive uh, items using clay. Who is that man? Somebody can remember? There's a person who is making very expensive clay items, pots, plates, flower vases, like these things. I put the name of that guy. His clay products are very expensive. That's a blue ocean strategy. People never think this kind of items. So he try to arouse new needs in the people. There is no such need. So he is a person who creates needs, like the Malaysian people. Hmm? Give me the another example. Who is the blue ocean strategy in Sri Lanka? Not copying others, not competing in a very traditional market. Uh, so they are not worried about the cost. Whatever the cost, they can sell it high price because there is no competition. That's a blue ocean. Give me the example of blue ocean strategies in Sri Lanka from Sri Lankan perspective. Blue ocean strategies for his or her good. There is no any competition. Give me example. One good
So
such
Damro ගන්න පුළුවන්.
Dhamro. Yes. Dhamro is a blue ocean strategy. Very correct. හරියටම හරි. එයා හදන සමහර දේවල් ලෝකේ නැහැනේ. අලුත්ම දේවල් නේ හදන්නේ. එයා අලුතෙන් මාකට් එකක් හදනවනේ. ඒක හරි. ඒක red ocean strategy එකක් ලංකාවේ. ධම්මික පෙර red ocean strategy. ඊළඟට ඔය ඒගොල්ලෝ තියෙන දේම නේ කරන්නේ. They are competing the existing marketplace. They try to beat the competition, beat the other person, or try to capture his business. So he is selling for the same customers. He try to reduce the cost. Now you know the difference between the red ocean strategy and blue ocean strategy. You want to be a blue ocean strategist in the field of farm management, right? So I know one guy, I could remember the name of that guy who extracts certain kind of oil from a plant, certain plant, and make it more expensive oil. For example, if you take the avocado oil is very expensive oil, right? So there is no competition for that plant. That's a blue ocean strategy. Like that you can think of, right? Or food market, certain foods, new foods are coming. For example, the අපේ ඉන්නේ කවුද අර මතක නෑ. chef කවුද අපේ ලංකාවේ පරණම chef කවුද? මේකේ ඉන්නේ මොකේද?
Publish.
අන්න publish මහත්තයා ගත්තා. මෙයා blue ocean strategist කෙනෙක්. ඒ වගේ වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right. Anything you want before I wind up today's discussion, because if I am talking too much, then you get confused. So I will give the time. You have half an hour or more than that. Within that, what you have to give an assignment. Just now you have to do. You think yourself and you develop your mission, you develop your vision, you develop your goal, objective, and think of the capabilities, think of your strategies, think of your core competencies, think of your unique resources, and build up your own strategy map. Right? For you, Then we'll come to the farm. Next day, farm. Take a farm and build up. So this slide you have to read to understand your organization. I have given certain kind of questions because understanding of your organization is very, very difficult. You might go disarray. You might get confused. අනේ මොන බිස්නස් එකේද මන් දන්නේ අපි ඉන්නේ අප්පා. එයා අරකට හදනවා මේකත් හදනවා. එයා අද එම්ප්ලොයිස්ලා ගන්නවා හෙටත් එම්ප්ලොයිස්ලා ගන්නවා. එම්ප්ලොයිස්ලා වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැහැ මොනවද කරන්නේ කියලා. So not sure of your product, not sure about your employees, not sure about your strategies, then you can't understand your organization. So everything should be very clear. That is how you have to perceive your organization, right? Then you can understand, මේ organization හරි direction එක යනවා. මේකට on the strategy එකක් තියෙනවා. මේක යන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වැඩේ කරන්න. You can understand easily. Nowadays I am working in an organization, I can't understand where the organization is going. I don't know. They are saying they are doing the training, other training, may training, I don't know where. I can understand, right? Because the priorities are not clear. So employees must have a clear expectation of working there. They have confidence of their organization. They can see risk-free future, right? So living organization or working with organization is a motivation factor, right? So you want to build up that kind of organization. So there should be a very good culture. There should be a good leadership, strong leadership, spirit of teamwork, right? And understanding of the resources, understanding of stakeholders. සමහර organizations දිනා කවුරු වෙනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. Like political party, like Sri Lanka opposition party. I don't know whether they are opposition party or some other party. Even the government party also same. So therefore, when you are understanding your organization, you have to be able to understand very clearly who is my leader, who are our employees, what are our products that produce, what are the markets we are competing, right? Who are our employees, what are the relevant laws for us. These kind of things we can be able to understand, right? And very important, we have to plan over all these resources. No strategy can be implemented without planning. So strategy, I told you, activities. You have to organize these activities with your resources. If it's going out, you have to control them. Otherwise, what happens? It increases the waste. It increases the redundancies, right? It can't survive in the changing environment. So changes hit the organization and put it away, throw it away, right? So the organization can't exist when the environment changing. So we have to adapt to the changing environment. So we have to plan. So planning is very important. We learn how do a planning with a strategic involvement next week, right? Not today. All right, guys. Now you have 15 minutes. Next day onward, we are doing here. So until that, guys, you have to build up your own strategy map by developing mission, vision, your own, not others, your own. ඔයාගේ ජීවිතේ ඔයාගේ මිෂන් එක මොකක්ද? ඔයාගේ විෂන් එක මොකක්ද? ඔයාගේ ඇත්තම ගෝල් එක මොකක්ද? ඔය අපි IPM එක ගෙනට එහා ගිය එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන අනිවාර්යෙන් ගෝල් එක. ඒකට ඔයා IPM ඉගෙන ගන්න ඒක ඔයාගේ එක ගෝල් එකක් විතරයි. ඒතර ඔයාගේ ඇත්ත මිෂන් එක මොකක්ද? ඇත්ත විෂන් එක මොකක්ද? දැන් මම උදාහරණයක් කිව්වොත් ඔයාලා එක එක්කෙනෙක් ගන්නවා. ඔයාගේ හැටියට. එතකොට ඒක ෆේල් වෙනවා. එහෙනම් මම මොකුත් කියන්නේ. ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතලා, ඕගොල්ලෝ කල්පනා කරලා, ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතලා ලියන්න මොකද්ද මගේ මිෂන් එක? මොකද්ද මගේ විෂන් එක? මොකද්ද මගේ ගෝල් එක? මම ගෝල් එක කොහොමද ක්වොන්ටිෆයි කරගන්න ඕනේ? එතකොට මට තියෙන ස්ට්‍රැටජික් කේපබිලිටිස් මොනවද අනික් අයට අමතරව? මගේ තියෙන කෝ කම්පිටන්සිස් මොනවද අනික් අයට අමතරව? මටම විශේෂ ඇක්ටිවිටීස් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? එහෙනම් මගේ ස්ට්‍රැටජිස් මොන වගේද කියලා හිතලා පොඩි අදහසක් ගන්න බලන්න. තනියම. My Tamil colleagues, Tamil students, can you understand what I am saying in Sinhala? තුන් දෙනෙක් පැනලා ගිහින් ක්ලාස් එකේ. පාර්ශ්ව සභිකයකින් හතර දෙනෙක් පැනලා ගියා. පැනලා ගියොත් පාඩුවේ වැඩි. මොකද මම හිටපු ගාම කොච්චි වගේ දානවා. ඒව සයිට් එකේ නෑ. හිටපු ගාම කොච්චි දානවා. හිටපු ගාම පොඩි පොඩි දේවල් මම කියනවා. ඒව ස්ලයිඩ් එකෙන් පිට දිනද ක්ලාස් එකෙන් ගියොත් ඕගලන්ට පාඩුයි. හරි? ඔව්. මම දැන් ඕගලන්ට ඊළඟ දවසේ ෂෙයා කරනවා ආටිකල් එකකුත් පොඩි කියව ගන්න. හරිද? පොඩි ආටිකල් එකකුත් දානවා. හැබැයි ඒක ඉතින් ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ තියලා මම දාන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. ඒ ඕගලන්ට ගියත් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒක. ආටිකල් ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. මේ ආටිකල්කුත් කියවන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේක හරි ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක්. මොකද අපි හරියටම අපේ opportunity ටික if you are unable to assess our opportunity then we fail. For example, if I want to go to Colombo, there are a number of ways and means. I can go by train, I can go by bus, I can go by car, I can go on foot, even I can use a helicopter, even I can use the seaplane. Right? How many methods, how many opportunities, how many options available? How do you select the best option? That is called strategy. That is called strategy in other words. Right? So you have to take into account number of factors. So likewise, you have enormous number of opportunities. If you are unable to understand the opportunities, then you can't grab the opportunity. So take the opportunity. Depending on what? Whether you can able to foresee, you can able to understand the opportunities available. අපි ෆේල් වෙන්නේ අන්න එතන තමයි. ඒකයි අපේ මිෂන් එක හරියටම හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. මෙන්න මේකයි මගේ මිෂන් එක. මෙන්න මේ පාරේ මම යන්නේ. එතකොට මේ පාරේ මම යන්නේ ඇයි? Why I am going this road? මට මෙන්න මේ මිෂන් එක ඇචීව් කරගන්න. එතකොට ඒක ඇචීව් කරගන්න මම ඊට කලින් ඇචීව් කරගන්න ගෝල් එක මොකක්ද? ගෝල් කීපයක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක එක ගෝල් එකෙන් ගෝල් එකට we have to achieve. Then that goals we have to convert into what? Quantifiable objective. Then we have to understand what are the resources available for me. Out of that resources, what are the unique resources I have? What are unique competencies I have? What kind of business I should be involved? If it go wrong, how can I control? These are the factors you have to take into account, right? අවුන්ට වැඩිපුර ඕනට කියලා දුන්නා ඒක. ඒක පැති වලින් කියලා දුන්නා මම. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හොඳටම මම හිතනවා තේරලා ඇති කියලා. දැන් දරුවනේ ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඕන ප්‍රශ්නයක් මයෙන් අහන්න තේරුන්නේ නැත්නම්. බලන්න අපේ රටේ තියෙන හොඳ බිස්නස් හරි සාර්ථකයිනේ. හොඳම උදාහරණේ දම්රෝ එක. හරිම සාර්ථකයිනේ. මොකද්ද මේකේ තියෙන පිටිපස්සේ තියෙන රහස බලන්නකො. කල්පනා කරලා ටිකක් හිතලා ඉවරලා. තව හොඳ උදාහරණයක් තියෙනවා සැන්ඩි KCC එක. සැන්ඩි සිටි සෙන්ටර් නුවර කට්ටිය දන්නවා සැන්ඩි සිටි සෙන්ටර්. ඊළඟ DSI එක. මොකක්ද අර මයික්‍රෝ කා කම්පැනි එක. එතනින් ගියාම අපේ ගල්කිස්ස හොටෙල් එක. ඒකේ කෝ කම්පිටන්සි එක මොකක්ද? ඒකේ යුනික් රිසෝස් එක මොකක්ද? අර පබ්ලිස් මහත්තයා යුනික් රිසෝස් එක. ඒකේ යුනික් කම්පිටන්සි එක මොකක්ද? ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ෆුඩ් සර්විං මෙතඩ් එක. කාමර ගොඩක් ගිහින් ගියොත් වෙන්නේ ඕගලන්ට. ඒ කාමර වෙන වෙනම තියෙනවා. එක එක කැම වල වෙන වෙනම හදලා. එතකොට එයාට උදේට කැම වර්ග ගොඩාක් කාමර ගොඩකට ගිහලා කන්න. එයාගේ සිලෙක්ෂන් එක. මේක තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන කම්පිටන්සි එක. එහෙම arrange කරන්න බෑ වෙන කෙනෙකුට. මේ වගේ තව මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? කොච්චර අපිට උදාහරණ ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? ලංකාවේ තියෙන හොඳම ෆාම් එක මොකක්ද? ඕගොල්ලෝ ෆාම් මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකේ ඉන්නේද? ලංකාවේ තියෙන බෙස්ට් ෆාම් එක කාගේද? හොඳම ෆාම් එක කාගේද? මම දන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඉතින් ෆාම් කාරයෙක් නෙමෙයි. You all are the farm people, farming people. What is the exemplary farm currently Sri Lanka have? මොකක්ද? ඕගොල්ලෝ දැනගෙන තියෙන ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ. හිතන්න බෑ.
Hambevela,
ඈ?
Hambevela, sir.
අම්බේවෙල. Yeah. අම්බේවෙල is a example, good example. It's a company. Individuals and ගත්තොත් එහෙනම් ගොඩක් තියෙනවනේ. ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ මාකට් එකේ වැඩිම ෂෙයා එකක් තියෙන කාලේ. අම්බේවෙලද? ඕගොල්ලෝ බැලුවද මාකට් ෂෙයා එක දැන් අපි දැන් කිරි මේල් ගත්තොත් එහෙනම් මේල් ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් වල වැඩිම ෂෙයා එකක් තියෙන කාටද? එයාලගේ තියෙන කෝ කම්පිටන්සි එක මොකක්ද? අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මීට් මාකට් එකේ කාටද වැඩිම තියෙන්නේ? මාකට් ෂෙයා එක. එයාගේ තියෙන කම්පිටන්සි එක මොකක්ද? Then take the paddy then take the price Dudley. Dudley ගේ තියෙන කෝ කම්පිටන්සි එක මොකක්ද? අනික් අයට. The best example is Dudley. Dudley කෝ කම්පිටන්සි එකයි යුනික් රිසෝස් එකයි තේරුම් ගත්තා නම් හොඳටම ඇති. මරු බිස්නස් එකක් ඔයාලට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. So those are the things that you have to think. Right guys. Shall we stop now? Because you want time. නැත්නම් ඔයාලා කවදාවත් කරන්නේ නැහැ ගෙදර ගිහින් ආපහු කරන්නේ දැන් පැය භාගයක් නැහැ හරි සැකද දිනවා. මේ විශ්ෙන් ඕගොල්ලෝ ටක් කරලා මේක වර්ක් අවුට් කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක රෙඩි කරගෙන මගේ මේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක මම මේකේ දානවා දැන් ඒකට මට එවන්න. මට බැරි දැන්. Yes I can. මගේ මේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක මම දානවා. මේ මේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එකට ඕගොල්ලෝ දාන්න ඒක. අන්න මගේ මේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක දාලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ මේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එකට ඕගොල්ලෝ එවන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි නිකන් කොල කැලියෝ ලියලා එවන්න බෑ. තනි පේජ් එකේ ලස්සනට ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඒක very professional වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි පස්සේ ලියනවා. අපි ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ප්ලෑන් එකක් අඳිනවා අන්තිමට. හරි? එතකොට ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ප්ලෑන් මම කීපයක් පෙන්නනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. එතකොට ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ප්ලෑන් එකක් හදනකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොහොමද හදන්නේ කියලා දැම්ම පටන් ගන්නවා. එහෙනම් වන් පේජ් එකක් විතරයි. වන් පේජ් එකෙන් පොඩ්ඩක්වත් තේමෙ වෙන්න බෑ. ඒ
Sir,
පේජ් එක ඇතුලේ ලස්සන ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඔව්.
sir, Word document එකක් එව්වට කමක් නැහැ.
Word document එකක් තමයි වань. Word document. Word document එක මේක යන්නේ නැහැ මේ මට දෙන්නේ අවසර දෙන්නේ නැහැ මේගොල්ලෝ මේ මගේ මේල් එක යවන්න. මට chat කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක මේ ඔයගලන් මේක. මම ඔයගලන්ට එවන්න කියලා ඔයගලන්ගේ මෙයාට දෙන්න. ඔයාලා ලෑස්ති කරලා තියාගන්නකො. මම ඉතින් එවන්න ඔයගලන්ට. මේක දෙන්නේ නැහැ මට යවන්න. I will send you. කොහොම ලස්සනට හරි ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් විදිහට කරන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේකෙන් තමයි අපි ටික ටික ට්‍රේන් වෙනවා. ට්‍රේන් අපි අන්තිමටම අපි අපේ ෆාම් එකක් අපි හදනවා. අපි ෆාම් එකක් හදලා ෆාම් එකට අපි දිනනවා බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එකක්. අන්තිමට මගෙත් එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ. එතකොට ඒක ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක්. හරි. මාර වැඩක් කරන්න යනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ. මේ වැඩේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරද්දී ඔයාලට මාර සතුටක් අඩේ මට දැන් බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. චුට්ට අපි කරන්නේ. ගොඩක් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඕගොල්ලෝ මේක ලියා ගන්න. අපි ලබන සතිය පටන් ගන්න චුට්ට ෆාම් එකට බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එක ලියන්න. ඕගොල්ලෝ ෆාම් එකක් ගැන හිතලා එක්ක ඔයා කරන අපිට බිත්තර ෆාම් එකක්. නැත්නම් ඔයා මීට් ෆාම් එකක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයා මොනවාද ෆුඩ් ප්‍රොසෙසින් ෆාම් එකක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයා ෆෘට් ප්‍රොසෙසින් ෆාම් එකක්. සෙමි ෆෘට් ප්‍රොසෙසින් ෆාම් එකක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි ඒ වගේ ෆාම් එකක් ගැන හිතලා තමන්ගේම ෆාම් එකක් ගැන හිතලා ඒකේ විෂන් එක ගෝල්ස්ලා අපි යනවා ස්ට්‍රැටජික් මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකට. කොහොමද අපි ස්ට්‍රැටජි එකක් මැනේජ් කරන්න කියලා ඒක අපි ලියනවා. ඊළඟ තේරෙයි ඉස්සරහට කොච්චර ලස්සනද තරන්වාදී වැඩේ කියලා. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලෝ වලයි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් ඉස්රායලයේ ඉස්කෝලේ මේ අනිවාර්යෙන් හැමදාම යාගේ ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ලියන්න ඕනේ. බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එක. ඒ බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එකේ කොටස තමයි ස්ට්‍රැටජි කියන්නේ. අපි බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එක ලියනවා අපි ස්ට්‍රැටජික් බිස්නස් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ඉදිරියට ඉස්සරහට. එහෙම ලියුවාම ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් දේවල් ඉගෙනගෙන ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්. අපි දැන් ලබන කරන what is strategy කියන එක ඊට පස්සේ අපිට අපිට කතා කරපු grand strategy ලෝකේ කියන වැදගත්ම ප්‍රධාන strategy තුන මොකක්ද? ඊට පස්සේ අපි ලියනවා අපිට strategy එකක් ඕනෙ වෙන්නේ ඇයි? අපිට අපි ළඟ strategic management අනිවාර්යයෙන් එනවා. strategic management කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? කොහොමද අපි manage කරන්නේ strategy එකක් කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි මේ ටික ගිහිල්ලා අපි අන්තිමට tools ටික ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. 9 tools ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. අපේ ළඟ තියෙන 9 tools ටික strategy එකක් build up කරන්න. මොකද අපිට strategy එක එකපාර build up කරන්න බෑ. හොඳට opportunities evaluate කරන්න නැතුව. risk management එක බලන්න නැතුව. එහෙනම් අපි ඒක ඔක්කොම ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. චුට්ට ඉගෙනගෙන අන්තිමට අපි අර වගේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ලොකු වැඩක් කරන්න. හරි. tools ටික තමයි අමාරු. ඒකට වෙලාම ඉගෙන ගන්න. tools 9ක් තියෙන tools 9 ඉගෙනට වෙලා යනවා. අපි ටික ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. ඉතින් නිකන් ඉන්නකොට කියවන්නත් ඕන. නිකන්. මුළු lecture series එකම මේකේ තියෙනවා. මේ slides. මේක තියාගත්තාම ඕගලන්ට හොඳටම ඇති. හරි. හරි දරුවනි. දැන් එහෙනම් අපි නවත්තමු. එනවාට බොහොම සුබ රාත්‍රිය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.